and welcome to Simple Life Circle webinar number 2. Now, you might be thinking, who are we? Well, my name's Ross.
And my name's Simon.
He's my dad. And we are the Simple Life Circle, or we are the presenters of the Simple Life Circle. Now, you might ask yourself, what is the Simple Life Circle? Well, the Simple Life Circle is a show that we run every evening on a Thursday at 7 o'clock. We run it over Zoom, so you can access it anywhere in the world, which is pretty cool, we like to think. Now, this webinar is our second of two. Our second of two? Yeah, our second of two. And this one, well, I'll let actually Dad tell you a little bit more about what it is.
Okay, so one of the things about Simple Life Circle is that we're kind of trying to bring the outside in so that you can experience what goes on in the countryside. You can experience who lives in the countryside and what happens out there, how they're connected, how we're connected to the countryside. And we thought a really cool way of doing that would be for us to look at one of our favourite birds, one of our favourite plants or shrubs, and one of our absolutely favourite outdoor activities. So we're going to have a look at the robin, we're going to have a look at the hawthorn, and we're going to have a look at long distance walking, because there's not many better ways to actually get out there and feel connected than to actually live out there for several days at a time.
Here is the presentation itself. Now let's get straight into it with our favourite bird.
If you listen really carefully, just now at this time of year, you will be able to hear the song of a robin. For a very small bird, they have a massive, massive song. That song is really, really important to the very nature of a robin, because they are very, very aggressive and very, very territorial birds. And that's one of the reasons why the song is so big and so colourful and so loud. Now, they're also one of the few birds that actually changes the song throughout the year. And in the summer and autumn and winter, that song pretty much means this is my ground, this is my tree, this is my grass, this is my flowers, this is my ground, this is my worms, this is my small insects. Do not come in, because it's my patch. And if you do, and you think you're hard enough, we're going to have a scrap. And robins do and will fight to the death. They are that territorial. They're even that territorial within the sexes. You see, they change that song in the spring, which is the song that you've just heard. And in the spring, it means everything that we just said, but it's got a bit tacked on the end. It means unless you're of the opposite sex, in which case you can come in and we'll make babies. And when we've finished, you need to move back out again because it's my patch. You see, not only do they only allow the opposite sex in to make babies, but it's also one of the few species where the female sings just as much and as loudly and vigorously as the male does, which is kind of strange. But not only that, you cannot tell the difference when you're looking at them between a male and a female robin, because they both look exactly the same. It's only robins that can tell the difference. If you see a robin without a red breast, it's not a female, it's a youngster, it's a juvenile. Because if they were born with red breasts, or they hatched, came out of the egg with a red breast, then the adults would actually attack the young bird. They wouldn't see it as their own chick, they'd see it as a threat. So the youngsters don't actually get that red breast until they have their first molt as they're going into autumn, ready for winter, which is quite amazing. Now, it's kind of lovely that the robin has actually been declared as our national bird. And that's partly because they're here all year round. That's partly because they are bright and colourful in the winter as well. And as a result of that, we put them on Christmas cards. It's also kind of ironic because that brightness and boldness in winter is where the numbers of our English birds get bolstered by the number of robins that actually come off the continent and make their numbers look bigger. So it looks like there are more of them. And for that short period, there are. But I kind of also like the fact that they're our national bird because being such a warrior and such a battler, they kind of almost tie in with that idea of St. George who fought the dragon. Absolutely very cool, unreal birds, and I love them to pieces. Ross?
Now, where would you see a robin? Well, why not see a robin when you're out on one of our favourite outdoor activities to do, which is walking. There are countless times when we'll go out and we'll be shooting content for the show and there'll be a robin flying around. We had one a couple of weeks ago where we were out filming and we had to stop filming what we were filming so we could show the robin. But walking. Now, we're both avid walkers. We did the West Holloway in 2013. In 2013, when I was 13, and we've done 4 more since then. We've done Hadrian's Wall, both North and South Downs Way, and we've also done the Ridgeway. But what we also like as well is we like to get out on Sunday walks. We've done the Elam Valley Path as well. We've spread out and done every variation of walking pretty much possible.
In fact, within the circle, we even do some specially guided walks that we actually present to our members' shows.
But the big question is why walk? Why would you want to get out and why would you want to go on a walk? Well, let me explain. Going out for a walk can be the most de-stressing way to de-stress. You get outside, you're frustrated, you're angry, you've had a really bad day at work. You come home, you get changed, and you just go on a walk for half an hour. It doesn't matter if it's in the countryside, on the seafront, in the middle of town. It could just be around the block. It doesn't matter. Walking, for me, was such a big stress reliever. If I was really frustrated with anything, I would go out and I would walk. I'd just disappear into the countryside for a few hours, turn my phone off, and I would just appreciate everything that was there. Now, you're also thinking, why long distance walking? Well, long distance walking itself is a great aspect to fitness. When we walked the West Highland Way, we both came back and weighed ourselves, and we were considerably lighter than we have ever been before. Because when you're on a long distance walk, your body isn't used to walking 8-9 hours a day with a pack the same size or the same weight as you on your back. You're then restricted because you can't carry as much fluid. You can't carry as much food as you normally would. So you're living off a restricted diet of, do I really need this? No, I don't. And that's something we can almost take to everyday life. Do I really need this? No, I don't. But that's the thing. When you're out in the countryside, your whole life is on your back when you're long distance walking. The next thing is places to walk. Now, there's so many different places. There are Sunday strolls around a country park. There is long distance walking up in the Highlands of Scotland, or across the South Downs, across the North Downs, or even along Hadrian's Wall. There's also going out on the beach. There's running marathons. That's all part of walking. You could walk a marathon. You could walk one place to the other, park a car at each end. There's so many different places. And with walking, there's never a guide. You can do a guided walk, but the biggest place to guide a walk is your head and your imagination and where you want to go and what you've got to clear your head with or what you've got to clear your head from. But whilst you're out, turn your phone off. Don't just put headphones on or AirPods in or anything like that. Turn your phone off. Just turn your notifications off and just spend time outside, clearing your head, listening to the birds, listening to the wind howl through the trees, listen to the trees rustle. Feel the crunch in autumn when you're walking through a woodland and you're stepping on dead leaves that have come out of the tree and they're just crunching away as they start to decompose. Think about that. What is going on in the world? of nature. What is going on in the countryside? Is there still farmers out? Are there birds squabbling over a bird feeder somewhere? There's a robin saying, "Get off my turf unless you're female"? What is there? And if you've got those earpods or those headphones on, you're never going to know. There's so many different types of walking. It is endless. There's speed walking, long distance walking, Sunday walking, family walking, every different type. There's never an excuse to not get out and walk.
And so many of our footpaths are along hedgerows. You see, we were trying to work out which would be the best plant to talk about. Should we talk about the big old English oak? Or should we talk about stinging nettles? Or should we talk about brambles? We picked hawthorn. And we picked hawthorn for a number of different reasons. Now, it paints our countryside twice a year, quite literally. Now, I mean, for most of the year, it's green. You know, when it's in leaf through the spring and the summer, going into autumn, you've obviously got that green, which is quite important in itself. But it has May blossom. And it's weird, it produces its blossom almost to coordinate itself with the old Celtic festival of Beltane, which is May Day. And when that May blossom comes out, it paints our hedgerows white, which is absolutely awesome. And it's funny how that Beltane, being a festival that celebrates fertility and reproduction, and the fact that it gets this amazing explosion of blossom at that celebration is fantastic. When that May blossom goes, and again, it's funny, it almost all seems to fade away right at the end of May. It has a kind of pinky hue to it, and then the blossom falls. But then when you get into autumn, having gone back to green, you get the berries, and the berries come through and they will paint our hedgerows red. And it varies year to year. And last year, 2020, we had possibly the most red of hedgerows ever. It's absolutely amazing. But as well as the blossom and as well as the berries, actually have a look at the leaves. They're kind of almost a little bit like mini oak leaves. They kind of got a kind of almost fingered kind of pattern to them. And they are quite unique and extremely easy to identify you. Now, we could have shown you them here, but what I say to you is go and have a look. So it's also quite a slow growing shrub, small tree. And quite often where you see them growing, that's a sign that that area has been the way that it is for quite a long time. Quite close to where we live, there's a fairly large hawthorn. It's probably about 6 to 7 meters in diameter. And I love going out in the summer and just sitting and back up against the trunk and just spend some time letting the world go by. Just observing life as it moves and letting myself slow down, because it's an amazing tree for that. That fertility can be of the mind as well as the body. And as I said, fantastic hedgerow plant.
Thank you for watching our webinar. We really hope that you've enjoyed and relaxed listening to us talk to you about our favourite bird, one of our favourite hedgerows, and our favourite type of outdoor activity. Really hope you've connected with us. We really also hope that you've learnt something. Now, if you want to get in touch with us to learn more, to know more, feel free to email us. That's simon@simplelifeltd.co.uk or ross@simplelifeltd.co.uk. And because you signed up for this webinar, we'll also be sending you a link where you can come to one of the shows free as a guest. We really hope that you can come along, and we really look forward to seeing you there, because that's the Simple Life Circle, bringing the outside in so you can relax, connect and learn.
Never let you go.